Hi there, fire signs. This is Carrie Mubarak at wooingnature.life. I hope all is well on this full moon on September the 14th, 2019. I trust that all is well. I know that all is well, and whatever it is that you are receiving and whatever you're experiencing right now, that you are writing it down in your journals, in your personal development journals, or in your professional development journals, or your spiritual development journals. Make sure you're keeping track of your life. You know, you are the one, you are the author and finisher of your faith and your fate. So write it down. You never know how that's going to move or be used for self-reflection, or how it may be helpful to others in the long run. So I hope you guys are keeping track of what's going on with the moon. If you want to know astrologically what's happening with the moon, you can check out the full moon view for the general, not for each of the elements. This is just for the elements. So what we're doing is kind of taking what's happening with the full moon, the energy of the full moon, which right now is about connecting with your past, with the teachers of your past, the things, the situations, the experience, and the people who have influenced you in your past, and taking a moment to recognize those people, and then also recognize what they taught you and what they gave you. It's also a time for family. It's a time for communication. It's time for clarifying communication between family members. If you're dealing with that, especially for these first 2 weeks of September, things are going to start to ease out a little bit. But what I'm doing today is just getting in with the oracle and getting in with the tarot, and just kind of thinking about this energy around the full moon period and what we need to be focused on for the full moon period for the fire sign. So if you're in Aries, if you're a Leo or Sagittarius, I'm talking about you and what you need to be thinking about in relationship to your life, or your life experience right now in this period over the next couple of days, and then leading up into the new moon on the 28th. So it's just like a time to get focused and get some perspective, fire signs. It's a time to self-reflect and also to illuminate. Full moon is a good time to illuminate. It's a good time to balance, because we have our masculine and our feminine, the sun and the moon on the opposite sides of the sphere, so to speak, reflecting each other. So it's a good time to reflect on those, your dualistic sides, be it masculine, feminine, dark, light, shadow, and then get some illumination around it. So we're looking at this full moon period. We're looking at our fire signs, fire energy, and how or what fire energy people are focused on at this time, how they need to focus at this time. I'm going to be pulling 3 cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I will also be pulling 3 cards from the King Solomon Oracle, and then I'll finish up and do some finishing touches with the tarot, just for clarity. So these 3 are just giving us a sense of what's going on in the present right now. Looks like we've got some encouragement needed or wanted. Rock bottom, which means that you definitely need some encouragement, fire signs. And then we've got healing in reverse, which means healing needs to happen. All right, so this is my territory. I love this. All right, so right now you have been having some difficulties, clearly, because we're looking at the bottom of the barrel here, okay? Right now it's time to think about the road to the bottom. I know people don't like to look at that, because that's the bad part. We don't really want to focus on it. We just want to forget about it in one way or the other, either through escapism or through just ignoring it or just acting like it didn't exist. I'm saying it's time to take a real hard look at how you got to where you were. Be honest, be truthful, be straightforward. Don't be afraid of this. You're already looking at it. You're probably already there. So it's no need to have fear about it. It's just time to reckon yourself with your position. Okay? And if this is where you are, then move forward. Okay? Everybody's bottom is different. Rock bottom for one person may not look like the same rock bottom for another person. Don't try to compare and contrast sorrows and sadness, okay? Don't get trapped into that moment. You ever had that moment when everybody is like trading their sad stories, like, well, I have a ache in my back, well, my arm and my knee hurt. You don't want to get into that situation. It just repeats the cycle. This is a time to kind of go in and self-reflect, but also give an honest assessment. And that means without judgment, without judging yourself, without judging other people that may have been involved in the situation, but just call a spade a spade. Okay? That's what that's about. Looks like you need some encouragement. My encouragement for you is to know that whatever rock bottom situation that you have been in, it is not the end of the world. It really isn't. It is just a really hard lesson. Okay? You know, you hit the bottom. It's just a hard lesson as opposed to a gentle lesson. But they're all lessons. So just take the lesson and then get up and you'll be ready to move forward, right? All is not lost. Look at this. You're just a baby. We're all just babies. We're down here on earth learning lots of things for the first time, no matter what our age is. But the wisdom of the elders tells us you're still growing. You're still getting your legs. You're still figuring this game out. So be encouraged. This is just for a time. You're still learning. You're still getting your legs around this, whatever the situation is. Okay? So it looks like it's some time for healing. Healing is a good place to find yourself right now, in healing spaces, in places that feel really positive for you, where you do feel encouraged. Don't hang out and hang around or spend a lot of time around people and situations that make you not feel encouraged, right? That's not going to help. You're already on rock bottom. You don't need anybody to, dig a hole in the ground and try to put you in it. So be around people who are encouraging, who are positive, who give you positive energy. I mean, it's really kind of that simple. And then the next thing is to begin to unravel this pathway to hell, right? Unravel it. And as you're unraveling it, then the healing begins. Okay? Healing really begins with admitting where you are. It really begins here, right? These things that are happening, the encouragement and the healing that are happening because you have reached this point and you know you're there. So this is just a turnaround point. This isn't the end of the line. It's a turnaround point, fire signs. All right, so let's go to King Solomon's Oracle. King Solomon's Oracle is a Kabbalistic teaching, so it deals with the spirit and the flesh. It deals with the relationship between the spirit and what it is that we have been assigned to do, and then how that then manifests itself in our everyday life. We've got 23 in reverse coming in first. We have the number 9 in reverse. And we have the number 16 upright. All right, so I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing in the card right off of the bat. With number 23, it's like a whole lot of stuff coming at you. This really looks like shit hitting the fan. But, it's not the fan, it's the swing. So things swing back and forth. First it's good times, then it's not so good times. And it's how you handle this situation. That's what I'm seeing there. But let's look at the Oracle book to try to understand what it is. It did come in reverse, so we read the reversed meaning. The number 23 translates into, or breaks down into, a 5, which is, of course, numbers of change, inverted, a warning about problems that you may encounter, hindrances or dangers or impediments that come between you and your goals, a fear of failure due to outside forces, or outside, I say dangerous forces, but what I'm seeing is outside forces, okay? So what I'm seeing here is the real threat to your well-being is probably coming from, it's something that's trying to hinder you from reaching your goals, okay? There may be a person, it may be a situation. It's a warning about those problems that you're about to encounter, and it's preparing you for that as well. It is coming in the same space where encouragement lives. So whatever is happening here, I feel like that you should still be in a space where you're being encouraged. I still feel like you need to make sure that you understand that this is a growth process, that whatever is coming your way, whether it be negatives or whether it's, just a fear, an innate fear, okay, that you don't succumb to the fear, that you don't give in to the fear at all. All right, so in the rock bottom space, we've got the 9 in reverse. So I'm going to look at the 9. Number 9 is about endings, we know. It's saying that what you're studying on right now is not good for you, will not benefit you, and it may be information that isn't going to benefit you in the end. So it looks like, for me, fire signs, I'm going to say be mindful of what you're taking in. Be mindful of the teachings that you're absorbing, the messages that you're absorbing, what people may be telling you, guidance that you may be receiving that puts you in a negative space or that keeps you in this space right here. You want to be watchful of that. Again, I still feel like being around people of encouraging energy is going to be really, really good for you right now. And then let's look at number 16. Number 16. All right, so this is in the space of healing, and it talks about material and spiritual abundance, okay? A positive card that indicates a great capacity for giving even with scarce resources, positive influences, abundant faith, generosity, donation, and charity. Give others the tools that they need for success. Aid your friends in the way that will enable them to help themselves most effectively, okay? So right here, what I'm sensing is that the healing lies in the lesson that you received, and that the healing also lies in your ability to carry that lesson forward to other people. Very positive, very positive. All right, so let's do a deeper dive here. Look at the situation that you have. Hitting rock bottom, being encouraged. When you have hit rock bottom, then it's important to find yourself in spaces where you can be encouraged. Otherwise, you just dig yourself, like I said, into the hole. Knowing that you're at the bottom is always a good place to be. It doesn't seem like it's a good place to be, but it is a place where you can begin to turn your situation around, move yourself into a better space. All right, so making connections becomes very important. It's important to be able to understand where you've been, where you've been, and how that's affected where you are right now, where you've been, the lessons you've learned, and how it is going to affect you or how it is affecting you right now. That is a part of the healing process. That's a part of that. So make your connections there. There are people who have had your same experience, who have gone through what you have gone through. Make a connection with those people. I don't know if it's some kind of support group. It could be any kind of gathering where people have had a similar experience that you have had. And then this is about balancing yourself out. Balancing out both sides of your energy. Again, balancing out the masculine and feminine, balancing out shadow and light. So when you're talking about the shadow side of a situation, what is it that's hidden? What is it that's not seen? What is it that you don't want people to know about in relationship to it? It could be something really small, like a flaw that you have that you don't want anybody to be aware of. Any of that has to be balanced out with what has been brought to light in your situation. And you are the person who's in charge of that. You are definitely the person who's in charge of that. You can always reach out to people who will help you get past those stuck places. So see your therapist, see your psychologist. If you're working with another kind of practitioner, let them know what's going on, and that should open up the doorway and get you some good movement going as far as your healing process. It's that whole thing about physician heal thyself. You know, you have to have the healing that happens within, and then the healing that happens within then is reflected without. All right, so that is you for the for this period of time. If there's anything you need, you can reach out to me at Carrie@wooingnature.life. If you need to make a deeper connection, just let me know. And you can also check out the information on the website. Again, that's wooingnature.life. As always, I hope you're having a great day and you're having a wonderful life.